This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim pass the assist, you know that it's number one show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sob like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And, very late for today's pregame show, game preview, whichever one I call it. Sometimes I call it both. But anyway, I'm very late. Apologize for that. But we're going to get it on anyway. We're going to get it. Practice ran really, really late today. So, set things back. But tonight, the New York Knicks take on the Washington Wizards. Both teams are depleted, not completed, depleted due to COVID. The New York Knicks are getting a few guys back, though. R.J. Barrett returns. Obi Toppin returns. Quentin Grimes returns to the team. They're both available. R.J. Barrett, Quentin Grimes are both available. Obi Toppin, I believe, is available. Doesn't mean that they're going to play because they've been out with COVID for a while. And their conditioning just may not be ready for them to get on the floor. And depending on the severity of their symptoms, you might not even want to take the chance that you put them on the floor and they haven't had a chance to recover fully. Okay? So, you're probably not going to see at least R.J. Barrett and Quentin Grimes. Maybe you see Obi. I don't know. It's hard to say who's going to be playing from night to night on any team. And sometimes we're getting this information literally up to the minute. Up to the minute, ladies and gentlemen. So we're definitely going to find out in just an hour and a half, who's going to be playing for the New York Knicks and also who's going to be playing for the Washington Wizards. I can tell you this right now. I'll bring this across your screen. This is what we know about the New York Knicks. R.J. Barrett, he's available. Okay, this was updated at 5:30. This is the official NBA injury report. Okay, so he is available. That does not mean he's going to play. Quentin Grimes, he's available. Does not mean that he's going to play. Kevin Knox, he's out. Miles McBride, he's out. Nerlens Noel, he's out. Emmanuel Quickly, he's out. All of those guys are out due to health and safety protocol. And Derrick Rose, he's out for 8 weeks due to ankle surgery. Okay, so there we go. We will see how this thing works out tonight for the New York Knicks. As far as the Washington Wizards, they got a bunch of guys out as well. Bradley Beal, he's out due to health and safety protocols. Thomas Bryant, he's out. Left ACL injury recovery. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, he's out due to health and safety protocols. Rui Hachimura, he's questionable. On the official injury report, it says return to competition, reconditioning. Okay, so he's conditioning right now. Does not mean he's available, but maybe they say, hey, let's throw him out there. Let's get him out there. We need him to play. Isaiah Todd, he's in the G League, and Cassius Winston, he's also in the G League. So a bunch of guys out for both teams, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm looking at this list. I mean, sheesh. I can start at the top and go through so many players. I'm going to do it just for the sake of doing it. Just for the sake of doing it, ladies and gentlemen. Right? And this is the official NBA injury report as of 5:30 p.m. For the Atlanta Hawks, Clint Capella, health and safety. I'll just say health and safety. I don't want to say the entire thing. Gallinari, health and safety. Kevin Huerter, health and safety. Luwawa Cabarro, health and safety. Lou Williams, health and safety. Trae Young, health and safety. For the 76ers, Andre Drummond, health and safety. Danny Green, health and safety. Shake Milton. Georges Niang. All of these guys, health and safety. New Orleans Pelicans, Nickeil Alexander, he's out for health and safety. The Orlando Magic, Mo Bamba is out. Iggy Brasdeikis, you guys remember Iggy, he's out. Terrence Ross is out. Not Jalen Suggs, he's got a right thumb fracture. It's a bunch of guys. Cade Cunningham is out. The list goes on and on, ladies and gentlemen. On and on and on. The Dallas Mavericks got a bunch of guys out. Reggie Bullock is out. Trey Burke is out. Luka's out. Josh Green is out. Tim Hardaway is out. Max Kleber's out. For the Bucks, Giannis is out. DiVincenzo is out. Bobby Portis is out. It's hilarious, man. It's hilarious, but this is the world. This is what it is right now. This is what it is. But anyway, back to the New York Knicks. Again, in case you are just joining us or forgot already, for the New York Knicks, R.J. Barrett is available. Quentin Grimes is available. We'll see how much those guys. Well, I doubt R.J. Barrett's going to play at all. From what I've heard, his symptoms have been, he's had some symptoms. Other guys have maybe been asymptomatic. Quentin Grimes, we'll see how much he plays. But Knox is out. Miles McBride is out. Nerlens Noel is out. Emmanuel Quickly is out. Derrick Rose, he's out due to ankle surgery. Right, so that's where we are with the New York Knicks and the Washington Wizards. Bradley Beal is out. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is out. Those two guys are both out to health and safety protocols. Thomas Bryant is out to left ACL injury recovery. Rui Hachimura is questionable as he reconditions to return to competition. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Who's that leave us with to play basketball? Well, let's take a look. The projected starting lineups for the New York Knicks: Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, Alec Burks, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. For the Washington Wizards, you got Spencer Dinwiddie, Raul Neto, Denny Avdia, Kyle Kuzma, and Daniel Gafford. Starting lineups right there, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? All I'll say is we'll see what actually happens when they get on the floor. Who's actually playing the basketball game. But if these are the two starting lineups, this edge better go to the New York Knicks. They better capitalize on this whenever they can. Now, eventually, it's starting to feel like sooner or later, the Fourniers and the Randalls and Kemba, will probably end up in protocol at some point too. Let's hope that they don't. But it's very, very possible. But those are your projected starting lineups, ladies and gentlemen. Again, Kemba Walker for the Knicks at point guard, Evan Fournier, Alec Burks, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, then Spencer Dinwiddie for the Wizards at point guard, and Raul Neto, Denny Avdia, Kyle Kuzma, and Daniel Gafford. Looking at the matchups here, from Kemba Walker and Spencer Dinwiddie, you would expect Spencer Dinwiddie would win that matchup. He's been playing good basketball so far this season. He's seen to find a comfort zone in Washington, playing alongside Bradley Beal. Those two guys do make a dynamic backcourt. and one that you got to, really watch out for and pay attention to. Spencer Dinwiddie, 6'6", 215 pounds, averaging 12.3 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 5.1 assists per game. But he is a guy that can have big nights. You've seen him do it in Brooklyn. When Kyrie was out, seen him have some big games, a stretch of big games. He's shooting 37.8% from the field and 32% from three. Okay, it's all right. I thought he was playing better than that. But, Washington's been sliding just a little bit from what they did during the beginning of the season. Similar to the Knicks, they haven't slid as much as the New York Knicks have, but they also slid just a little bit. So that's an interesting matchup because Kemba's been playing very good basketball since he's been back in the lineup. We'll see if he continues to play that kind of basketball tonight. Now, with Derrick Rose being out for 8 weeks, it seems as though Kemba Walker is going to remain in that starting lineup. Hopefully, given the current situation of the New York Knicks and the players that they're missing, this is going to give the team a chance to, shall I say gel? But at this point, these guys can't look over their shoulder. There's nobody to look to. Nobody out there to look to. So Kemba Walker's not looking over his shoulder to say, hey, is Derrick coming in? Nope, he's not. He's not looking over to see if Miles is coming in either. So now you can just go out there and play free. Same with Evan Fournier. So maybe this is something that is going to turn into a positive for the New York Knicks. Last 3 games by Kemba Walker. Well, the last 2 games by Kemba Walker. He had 29 points versus the Boston Celtics. He shot 40% from the field. He shot 45% from 3. He also had 6 rebounds and 3 assists. Versus Detroit, he played 40 minutes. He had 21 points, 38% from the field, 33% from the three-point line, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. And to top it off, him and Julius Randle look like they're beginning to build a little bit more chemistry, as well as Evan Fournier and Julius Randle. So we'll see if that continues tonight. All right, but that's a good matchup to look out for. Because if Kemba Walker plays the way he's been playing, he's going to put some pressure on Spencer Dinwiddie to have to play defense. Of course, Spencer Dinwiddie's probably going to try to step up tonight, and we've seen him do it before. Now, Evan Fournier, Raul Neto. Now, this is a matchup that Evan Fournier should win. But you know what? You just never know when guys are in a situation like this when they're going to, I don't want to say decide, but they're put in a situation where they have more responsibility. Right? And now that they have more responsibility, they try to step up and step out. You know what I mean? But this is a matchup that Evan Fournier should win. And Evan Fournier's been playing good basketball over the last few games. All right, he's been hitting shots and he's been taking shots. Evan Fournier, the last 3 games, 23 points versus Houston. He shot 66.7% from the field and 50% from the three-point line. Also had 3 assists. Against Boston, 32 points, 54% from the field, 40% from the three-point line. He had 5 rebounds and 3 assists. Against Detroit, he had 22 points, 37% from the field, 36% from the three-point line, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists. So Evan Fournier, hopefully he's going to, with the added responsibility, and get this, he played 43 points, 43 minutes in Boston. He played 41 minutes in Detroit, or versus Detroit. So this could be a blessing in disguise. We'll see. I don't know. somebody told me I say I don't know a lot. You know, I don't mean that I really don't know. Just saying, you know, we'll see, basically. I know I do say it a lot. It is what it is. Whatever. I'll continue to say it. Alec Burks, Denny Avdia. If Denny ends up being a starting small forward, I mean, at this point, I don't know who else the Washington Wizards are going to have out there on the floor. You know, they may be picking up some guys from the G League or whoever to try to fill in and play some minutes. He's a young guy that can play some basketball. I think Alec Burks should win this matchup. But again, guys are going to have to step up and play basketball. So you don't know what, you don't know how they're going to come out fighting. Julius Randle, Kyle Kuzma. This is my Thrive Fantasy matchup of the night. This is a matchup that I think Julius Randle should win, but Julius Randle hasn't been playing the greatest basketball. Right? Kyle Kuzma is a guy who, you know, what's happening and where he is right now, you know, this is where he's wanted, what he's wanted for a while. He's in a position where he can really excel. He's done okay. But he's in a position with the Washington Wizards and playing this starting power forward spot, you know, well, he could actually, you know, I thought maybe he'd have a chance of having a career year. So far, it's been just okay. He's averaging 12.6 points per game, 7.8 rebounds per game, and 2.9 assists per game. So maybe I'll change my Thrive Fantasy matchup of the night to Kemba Walker and Spencer Dinwiddie. That might be the Thrive Fantasy matchup of the night. And ladies and gentlemen, you can play all of your daily fantasy sports with Thrive Fantasy. You can get the app. You can check out their website at thrivefantasy.com. The link is in the description of the video. Right? You got player props. You can choose which players you want to play that evening, that night, every night. And, of course, you can win money. You can win cash in the pocket, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you check out Thrive Fantasy. I would choose Julius Randle tonight because I think Julius Randle is going to play well. He's matched up against Kyle Kuzma before. He knows Kyle. Kyle knows Julius. I think Julius Randle wins this matchup. He'd be a good player to use tonight if you're going to play some daily fantasy basketball. And if you're going to do it, you might as well do it at Thrive Fantasy. Might as well do it at Thrive Fantasy, ladies and gentlemen. Mitchell Robinson and Daniel Gafford. Mitchell Robinson's been playing good basketball. You know, he's playing with more energy. And maybe it's because he knows he doesn't have to look over his shoulder either. You know what I mean? Obi wasn't there. He knew that Nerlens Noel would be coming in for him in the previous game, but Nerlens wasn't there. I mean, Obi wasn't there. So, you know, that threat of another guy that could come in for him wasn't there. I don't know if he's that worried about Jericho. But he's also lost a little bit of weight, so he's probably feeling lighter on his feet. He's been getting more touches lately. So he's been playing with more energy. So big shout out to Mitchell Robinson. I think Mitchell Robinson should win this matchup as well. Needless to say, I think the Knicks should win this basketball game. Right? They should win this basketball game. But we've seen crazier things done. A big shout out to the Public Enemy. Thank you for deleting this dude that's in the chat, dropping all kinds of junk. And ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the Game Day pregame show. So make sure you go check out thegameday.com. The link is in the description of this video. And for all your most up-to-date sports content and betting odds, check out thegameday.com. You got about 45 minutes to get you bets in. If you plan on making a little bit of cash tonight, got like 45 minutes to get it in, go to thegameday.com. Find out what's happening across all betting sites, from Caesars to DraftKings. Make sure you go check it out. Looking at the comparison between the two teams, and I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I got the wrong one up there. Let me get that back. We'll bring the starting lineups back, and I'll get the comparison up in just a second. The Knicks have made another signing. I mean, you know that the New York Knicks signed a couple of guys who's been floating around the league just so that they can fill up their roster. They made another signing today, I believe it is, and we'll see if he plays. It's Daniel House Jr. As the Knicks are, just very light. I thought maybe that they were going to try to look at bringing in a center. But I guess since you got Jericho Sims that can come in and back up Mitchell Robinson, they didn't really have to look in that direction at a center. And you also got Taj Gibson that's still out there. So I guess they're good at that position. And you can also play Julius Randle small. Obi Toppin is coming back. We'll see how much Obi actually plays. See how much he actually plays. But Daniel House Jr., ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks signed him to a 10-day contract, 6'6", 220 pounds. He has career averages of 8.8 points, 3.7 rebounds, and 1.3 assists. He's played with the Houston Phoenix and the Washington Wizards. So we'll see what the young man can do if he even gets any game play tonight. He was actually just waived from Houston on December the 18th, about 5 days ago. So we'll see if Daniel House Jr. actually gets some playing time tonight. Kind of hard to say with everything that's happening. I don't know. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. There I go again, right? Saying I don't know. There I go. Like I said. But anyway, let me get this team comparison back up since I had the wrong one there. And, take a look at the team comparison between the Washington Wizards and the New York Knicks. Now, as you can see, both teams at this point in the season are scoring about the same from the field. All right, the Wizards are averaging 105.6. The New York Knicks are averaging 105.8 points per game. I said from the field. I mean points per game. It's been a long day. Been a long day, a lot of basketball practice and stuff. So excuse my misspeak. The Wizards average 44.3 rebounds a game. The Knicks average 44.9, 23.5 assists for the Wizards, 21.4 for the Knicks. Both teams around 7 steals per game. Both teams around 5 blocks per game. Both teams around 13 turnovers per game. The Wizards shoot a little bit better from the field at 46.3%. The Knicks are shooting 43.7% from the field. The Wizards shoot 32.2% from the three-point line, while the Knicks are shooting 36.3% from the three-point line. The Wizards, 77% from the free throw line, and the Knicks, 79% from the free throw line. The Wizards average 50.3 points in the paint, while the Knicks average 42. Now, things are obviously going to be a little bit different because Bradley Beal is not playing. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is not playing. There's a bunch of guys that aren't playing. So these stats might not mean a hill of beans. It might not mean anything. Second chance points, the Knicks are averaging 14.6, while the Wizards are averaging 12.5. And fast break points, the Wizards average 8.7 fast break points per game, and the Knicks average 10.6. The Wizards are led by Bradley Beal in scoring at 23.3, but obviously he's not playing. The Knicks are led by Julius Randle at 19.6, who's not playing as well as he was playing last season. Last year, Julius Randle was averaging like 24 points a game at this point in the season. But Randle just isn't shooting as well, not from the field or from the three-point line. Kyle Kuzma leads the Wizards with 7.8 rebounds per game. Julius Randle leads the Knicks with 9.8. Bradley Beal, he leads the Wizards in assists at 5.9 assists per game, at 5.9 assists per game, but he's not playing. Randle leads the Knicks at 5.2. Daniel Gafford leads the Wizards in blocks at 1.82, while Mitchell Robinson leads the Knicks at 1.71. 1.71, ladies and gentlemen. Big shout out to J Albino 59, who just became a new member. I appreciate you, my friend. Big shout out to you. And I do want to say, Big Bubba, kind of let the cat out of the bag a couple of weeks ago. Well, he didn't let it all the way out the bag, but he almost let it out the bag. For everyone who is a member, something that's going to start happening in January is for some games, not all games, some games, we're going to have a special link where me and a couple of the MBK members, 2 or 3 members, we're going to be sitting and watching the game together. And if you're a member, you will have access to that link. Now, it'll be limited. Only about 9 or 10 people will be able to get in. But if you are a member, you'll have access to that link, and we'll be able to sit, chill, and watch the game together right after the game preview, or not after the game preview, a couple hours after the game preview. And then we'll watch the game together, and then we'll go right into the post-game show. All right, so that's just a little benefit that we're doing for our members. It's going to start in a couple of weeks. Well, it's going to start in January. All right, so that's going to be dope. So, J Albino 59, thank you for becoming a member. You will have access to that link when it becomes available. And those who are members, if you go into the community section on my YouTube page, you have access to get the link to join live through video. Yeah, members, you got that access. You got that access, ladies and gentlemen. Keys to the game tonight. It's hard to say what the keys are going to be against this team because we don't know exactly who we're playing. I mean, we know we're playing the Washington Wizards, but we don't know who's going to be on the floor. So a lot of the things that I'm going to talk about in the keys to the game really just have to do with the New York Knicks. All right, so number one, they need to band together amidst adversity. There's a lot of talk around the Knicks having drama within the organization. Kemba Walker and Tom Thibodeau, Evan Fournier and Julius Randle. The players aren't working as hard as they were working last season. Chirp, 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 chirp. It could be. It could all be true. It could all be true, and it could not be true. Whatever it is, they've got to band together during this time of adversity. And hopefully, the fact that they have to band together helps to springboard them into playing good basketball. Now, as far as gameplay, get off to a good start. Get off to a good start. You know what I mean? That's going to help us in the long run. We don't want to have to fight back. We just don't have the people to have to worry about fighting back. And maybe they don't either, but we don't want to have to fight back. If you got to fight back, that's going to put undue stress on the guys that we do have out there on the floor. So we need to get off to a good start and make sure we are with the Washington Wizards throughout the game. Be ready to play heavy minutes. Julius Randle, Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker. Be ready to play heavy minutes. Mitchell Robinson, be ready to play heavy minutes. Because Nerlens Noel is out tonight. Normally, Mitchell Robinson, if both Nerlens and Mitch are playing, they're getting 24 minutes a game each, somewhere around there. Tonight, Mitch might have to play 38, so he needs to be ready. Continue to grow on the offensive end. Now, of course, the Knicks played Detroit in the previous game. So things might look a little bit better. The Wizards, they're not that great defensively. So maybe the Knicks can continue that growth, the growth that we've seen between Kemba and Randle, Fournier and Randle. A lot of people say that they like the lineup of Kemba Walker, Alec Burks, Evan Fournier, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. Of course, it looked good against Detroit. Is it going to look good against other teams, against better defenses? Remains to be seen. And then avoid stretches of bad play. I'm going to have that up there for a little while because the Knicks have been known to have stretches, 4 or 5 minutes of just bad basketball, bad turnovers, missed shots, goofed plays. We can't have those stretches. We just don't have the personnel out there to get back if we have those stretches. So we've got to avoid those kind of stretches, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the Washington Wizards haven't played a basketball game since December the 18th, right? About 5 days ago. I think their previous game was canceled versus the Brooklyn Nets. It was canceled. It was postponed, obviously due to COVID. So these guys may be a little bit rusty. And in that first quarter, when they step out there on the floor, they may be a little bit winded. And the Knicks need to take advantage of that because the Knicks have been playing. At least the guys who are on the floor have been playing. This might be a good time to push that pace just a little bit, at least in that first quarter. See if you can get them down by double digits early. Simply because they're winded. And now you give yourself a little bit of a head start. Because they have not played since December the 18th where they beat Utah. Right? Where they beat Utah. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. The keys to tonight's game. We'll see what happens. We play in about an hour. We'll definitely be on a post-game show tonight, about 10:15. All right? And I want you to call in. I want to find out what you're thinking. We'll find out. We'll see what happens with the Knicks. Hopefully they win tonight. I think they will win tonight. And that's good. That'll be a 2-game win streak. We'll be climbing back in contention. Right now, the Washington Wizards are ahead of us. They're 16-15 overall. They're in the 6th spot in the Eastern Conference. If the Knicks can win this game, the Wizards will be 16-16, and the Knicks will inch back up and move back to being 15-17. And they'll be just 1 game below the Washington Wizards. And they can move if they win tonight and they're 15-17. I think they can move into the 11th spot. Let's see, Toronto, they're in the 10th spot and they're 14-15. See if they're on the schedule for tonight. Tonight, the Raptors are not on the schedule. Okay, so I think the Knicks can maybe move up to that 11th spot if they can win tonight. Well, we'll see. The Hawks are on the schedule tonight playing the 76ers. Both teams have a number of players out. Either way, the Knicks got to take advantage of this moment in time, ladies and gentlemen. They have their starters for right now healthy. I don't know if it's going to continue to be like that for the remainder of the year, but their starters are here, healthy, and other teams, maybe missing some of their starters when the Knicks are playing them. And the Knicks they're in a soft spot in their schedule, right? So they've got to take advantage of it and win these basketball games. They play the Wizards tonight, the Atlanta Hawks on Christmas, right? They're probably going to be depleted. Then the Minnesota Timberwolves, then the Pistons. This is right now, right here. The Knicks can win these 4 games in a row, maybe 5. Oklahoma City, they play on December the 31st. They can win these 5 games in a row. Man, they can do themselves a lot of good, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of good. If the Knicks right now, 14-17, they can win these next 5 games. You're looking at 19-17. 19 and 17 might put you in the 6th seed, depending on who else is up there. So, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing you on the post-game show, 10:15. Be there or be square. I'm up out of here. Be peaceful. Be peaceful. Spread love. Catch me later on tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.